Hi. You know, for thousands of years, people have been asking the question, what is truth? And in John 18, Jesus had a conversation with a man named Pilate on this very topic. This is when Jesus was brought before Pilate, and Pilate had to interrogate him to find out what the truth was about him, because he didn't see anything that Jesus was doing worthy of being crucified. So he had heard the Jews say, he says he's the king of the Jews. And so he asked them, are you king of the Jews? And Jesus says, my kingdom is not of this world. He says, my kingdom is of another place. And, Pilate says, so you are a king. And Jesus' answer is this: you are right in saying that I am king. In fact, for this reason I was born. And for this I came into the world to testify to the truth. Everyone on the side of truth listens to me. And this is when Pilate says, what is truth? And, we're still asking that same question today. You listen to the news and everybody's accusing everybody of fake news and false media and he said, she said, to the point that, it's very difficult to figure out what the truth is. But Jesus said, if you hold to my teaching, you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. Now that's the kind of truth I'm interested in. And that's the kind of truth that we all really, really want. But maybe a better question, or another question we need to ask to figure out what the truth is what is evil? Is there evil in the world? Now that question is more easily answered because, it's so obvious. Again, listen to the news and you'll hear of people robbing other people, taking packages off of their doorstep, people running over other people and leaving the scene, shooters going into offices and schools and universities and killing people. The sex trafficking that we hear about, all of the different abuses that we hear about, it's easy to spot evil. There's no denial about that. But for every evil, there is a corresponding good when you think about it. Where there is hate, there can be love. Where there's immorality, there can be purity. Where there's adultery, there can be love in marriage. Where there's greed, there can be generosity. There's selfishness, there are the people who deny themselves constantly. For every evil, there is good. And the reason it's hard for us to deal with these things is because these things can only be dealt with in a spiritual way. They are spiritual qualities. They come from the spiritual side of man. Now we'll be talking about that a little more next time, but this is why Jesus says, this is the kingdom that I'm going to set up, because I want to deal with the truth about what is right and what is wrong. And until we can, deal with it that way, these evils are going to continue. Jesus was the only one who could deal with it. He was the only one who could take those sins, those evils, put it on a cross, be the sacrifice, and take them away so that we would have the opportunity to have power to overcome these evils. He's the only answer. That's why he says his kingdom is spiritual. It's of another world. It's not a kingdom that is going to be made up of flesh and blood. This is the kingdom we need to be a part of. Now he says over in John 3 that this is the verdict. He says, light has come into the world, but men love darkness instead of light because their deeds were evil. Everyone who does evil hates the light and will not come into the light for fear that his deeds will be exposed. But whoever lives by the truth comes into the light so that it may be seen plainly that what he has done has been done through God. In order for us to find the truth, in order for us to deal with the evil that is around us, we need to find spiritual answers. And that's what Jesus did when he died on the cross. So think about and ponder the questions, what is truth? What is evil? And let God speak to you. And reread the passages in John 18 and John 8 and John 3 and Galatians 5. And let God's word sink into your heart, because that's the only way that the darkness is going to be overcome by the light. And until the next time, radiate truth.